back. It's nice to see you all again. I just want to say a huge thank you for watching the last video and all for your lovely comments and everything. It was really lovely to read them all and get to know so many of you. Today I'm going to be talking about the bits and pieces I picked up at the Vintage Bazaar, and they're all kind of related to vintage crocheting and vintage sewing, so they're all very much my kind of thing. It's a particular vintage fair that I tend to pick these sorts of things up at, and one that I go to quite regularly, and they have some really good sellers who do quite a lot of kind of haberdashery and things like that. So let's get started. So the first thing that I got was these cotton reels. So these are very old sort of cotton reels. You probably know about them if you're a vintage sewer. These ones are all French, if you can see that. Two of them are the same, and then one of them is different. And I just thought they would be nice to put up with my sewing bits and pieces. Just kind of stack them like that, just put them on display. I probably won't use them for anything, but I rather like them. So they were £1 each, which was really good. Sometimes you can pay quite a lot of money for these, so yeah, they're just a little knick-knack really. I also got these tiny little, if you can see them, they are crochet drops. That's the only way I can describe them really. They're kind of solid, you can't squeeze them or anything like that, but they're really finely crocheted. And my mum, when she saw them, she's like, oh, they make great earrings. So I'm going to make her a pair and me a pair out of those. And I think they're like a very dark navy. You probably can't see that, but yeah, they're really cute. So, and again, they were £1. I also got these 3 lovely buttons. So there's 3 of them, and they're quite heavy, and they're really nice and big, and they have this lovely kind of sort of indent on each hole, which I thought was really cute, and I thought they'd look really nice like on a dress like that. And they're just such a gorgeous colour. I thought they were lovely, and these were actually £3 for the 3, but I think for the weight of them I think it was worth it. I also got, so I got quite a lot of buttons. I collect vintage buttons, so yeah. So these are cord, if you can see that. Hopefully that comes out on the screen. And they are like a burgundy colour, really pretty. And they've got a plastic back, so they can't be that old. But they've probably been taken off something, and I just thought they were really sweet. And there's 3 of them, so again, they'll probably end up on a dress going like that. So I also got these now, hopefully you can see these. I literally just bought these for the effect that's on it. There you can see it. It's very Art Deco. They're kind of a, I don't know if they're Bakelite actually. They might even be Bakelite, you never know. But they are like a rusty orange colour. Not really my sort of colour, but I thought they'd be nice if you kind of, you know, highlight some particular colour in a print or something like that. So I think there was about 8 of those, and they were £1. The burgundy ones were £1 as well. It was basically this lady had a box, and it, for some people it was probably junk, but for me I was, you know, rabbiting through it. That's the sort of thing I tend to do at vintage fairs and flea markets and antique stores and things like that. And yeah, I kind of pulled out loads and loads of bits, and every single thing was £1, so you know, it's like you can't go wrong then, can you? The last thing I got from her was these 2 really cute bows, and they're kind of a rusty orangey colour, and they look actually like they've been pulled off, I don't know, a card or something like that, because they're quite solid. They're not kind of they're not typical what you would have on clothing, because look, they don't move that much. But I thought they'd be really cute on something. You can put them on a hat, you can put them on shoes, you know, you can put them on anything really. So I just grabbed them, they were £1. So yeah, I like buying things for £1. Going away from the lady who was selling everything for £1, I then got this, I hope you can see it. It is a lucite hat pin. And I seem to be collecting these now. I really, really like the shape of this. It's like a leaf. But I have, this is my second lucite one, and this is the first one I bought, which I absolutely love. It's very Art Deco-y. I hope that's in focus. Let's just go, there we go, now you can see it on there. And it's kind of got like a grid design on it. But yes, so this one was, I think this was £6, which I got this time, and that one I think I paid about £12 for, because I thought it was so lovely. So it was nice to get a little bargain with that one. I also got, another bargain I like getting is patterns, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patterns for £2. And I only bought them for one particular pattern, and that was that one there, because I want to make a top very similar to that, which I will come to in my next video, which I'm going to be doing about my kind of holiday kind of wardrobe that I'm going to be making. So yeah, I wanted it particularly for that one. It's a size 31.5 bust, which is quite tiny, smaller than I would need, so I'm going to have to do some adjustments to it, but it's nice to just have a base to work from. This looks like it's probably 70s. I'm trying to find a date on it somewhere. Nope, can't see a date anywhere. A lot of these older ones don't have. Probably anything from the 80s upwards, they tend to have the dates on them, but yeah, 70s and less than that, you don't get them. So the other patterns that were in there, now I quite like this, although again it's 70s, and no, there's no date, is this one here. And I quite like it, I quite like the shirtwaister kind of dress. And again, it would be a good base pattern for a 30s one, because the 70s, a lot of 70s clothes actually took a lot of inspiration from the 30s anyway. So this kind of design you could get away with making into more of a 30s design anyway. So and the next one is very 80s, very 80s. And I think this is going to go down to the charity shop, because it's not my kind of thing at all. Again, I'm looking for a date. No, can't see one, which is quite unusual for an 80s one. Let me just check. Oh no, it's 1978. There you go. So it's not quite 80s, but there you go. Not really me. So yeah, there's no shape to it. I like things with shape in them. So that's going to go down the charity shop. Unless anybody wants it, do let me know if you want it, because I can post it to you. I did also really, really like this when I spotted it, because I've been thinking about making that style of cushion for my bed. So that's a really, really good, helpful pattern to have. Again, I'm not sure of the date. Is there a date? 1961. Earlier than I thought, to be honest. But then I don't really know about home accessory patterns. Not really something I buy. But yeah, I quite like that one. I'm going to take that little bit out. Okay, so this one is definitely an 80s one. Again, not really the sort of thing I would be wearing, and it's going to go down the charity shop. Let me just see if I can see a date. Why aren't any of these dated? It's really weird. Imagine the 80s ones would be dated. But no, it's probably inside somewhere anyway. And this one I thought was quite sweet. It's actually Canadian by the looks of it. It's probably late 70s, maybe early 80s. Do we have a date? Do we have a date? 82, there you go. a simplicity one. It's just some, you know, some nice shirts, blouses, whatever you want to call them. I quite like the one with the bib on it. So this one will be kept because it can be used as a base to create another kind of 30 style one. That's what I tend to do quite a lot, is if I can't get hold of an original pattern, or I can't be bothered to draft my own, then I will I'll use an older pattern, something like a 70s or an 80s one, and just kind of work from there. So I bought one other pattern, and I bought this from Top Totty Vintage, who you can find on Facebook, and I love her stuff. She sells some really great things, and I bought this from her, which is a original 1930s blouse pattern from Butterick. So this cost me £15, which is not bad actually for a 1930s blouse pattern. I've seen them advertised at more, but what really excited me, and if you're a vintage pattern nerd you'll get this, was the fact that the next day I suddenly had an epiphany, if you can call it that, or a, I don't know, whatever, but I suddenly remembered that the pattern book that I'd bought recently was a Butterick. Now these go for quite a lot of money, and this was spotted somewhere. I'm not going to tell you just in case you go looking and then I miss out on it. But yes, I bought this, and I think I paid £20 for it, whereas they go for about 75 roughly. And I suddenly thought, I wonder if they're from the same era, because they kind of look it. They have, you know, the same kind of look and feel to them. So I thought, no, you wouldn't be that lucky. No way would you be that lucky. And then I started flicking through it. And then what did I find? The pattern. Look at that. I was so excited, I can't tell you. Let's see if I can lift that up properly. Can you see that, the one at the bottom? Isn't that amazing? I was so excited when I found that. I was just like a little kid. It's such a vintage pattern nerd moment, but I don't care because I am a vintage pattern nerd. But yeah, yes. But I will be using this. I will definitely be using that. I particularly like that one with the bow around the bottom there. So I definitely plan to make that, and I like the kind of the direction of the stripes changing like that. It's a very 1930s thing to do, so that will be used for definite, and I'll let you see that once it's done. So the next thing I got was a needlecraft and needlewoman and needlecraft. I've got lots of these, and I actually plan to do a video about the whole needlewoman, needlecraft franchise, whatever you want to call it, because it's quite interesting actually. But the reason I bought this, now if you watched my last video then you know that I am useless at knitting, but despite that I have a habit of picking up things that have vintage knitting patterns in them because they're just so beautiful, and I love that one with the stripy bib on it. I think that is so cute. And then it's got that one as well for added bonus, and I think there's one more. There's a really cute crochet thing which is just for decoration to put in your pocket. Isn't that sweet? It's just lovely to kind of just use some scraps of your cotton or whatever. Yeah, there's another one. So that one's really nice. It's so it's got like 2 different colours going down there, which are spotty, and then the arms and the waistband are another colour, and they're just plain. Does it suggest what colours? No, it doesn't. It just says contrasting colours. Oh, that's no help. It's also got, oh yeah, I really like this. It's got a crochet tie. I'm definitely going to make that at some point. Definitely, because that's really lovely. And I do like wearing ties when I can. I feel a bit weird but wearing them to work or anything like that. But yeah, but it's can you see? Oh yeah, I've got to go really, really careful with that. But that's, now this does have a date in it. I did find the date. Now where on earth did I find it? Because they put it right in the back somewhere in the middle of an advert. Ah, there it is, 1944. There you go. So it's kind of towards the tail end of the war. So that's kind of shows you the fashions from there. This actually came with it, and those two things were actually from the lady with all the 70s and 80s patterns. But this, no, I'm sure I found a date on this as well. I think it's like 60s or something like that, 50s or 60s. But it's, oh no, it's 50s. There you go, because you can see from the lady there. But it's got a transfer in it. Well, it's got several transfers actually. So it's got a nice one. So these are all for embroidery, but it also has, oh no, I've dropped it. There it is. It's actually got the little embroidery threads that came with it still. Isn't that cute? And they're bright. I love how bright they are. And they suggest using these on like an apron or on like placemats and that kind of thing. It'd be really sweet on an apron. I really like that idea. So you never know, one day when I actually get round to learning how to embroider, which is something I really want to do, I might end up doing those. So I also got, now I seem to have a habit of buying these as well because I just love them so much. This one is, I believe, a 1940s one. It's just like it's an all-in-one underwear. What do they call it? All-in-one panty vest. There you go. I have a couple of 1930s ones of these as well. And despite the fact that I can't knit, despite the fact that it's done in 2-ply wool and tiny little needles, there's no way I'm ever going to make that. But I just love them. I just think they're lovely. I think they're so cute. So I picked that up. I think that was like £1 or something. And then last two things, promise. These are my two favourites, so I've saved them till last. So I got, now I've just taken the lid off of it, but I better put it back on. Original Coats Mercer Crochet, which is, I've got another box of these, and they come from, they could vary from the 20s really up until the 60s. And I just fell in love with the colour of these. The lady who was selling them had 3 boxes of them. And I wish I could have bought all 3, but they were £10 a box, so there was no way I was going to buy all 3. But look at that colour. How amazing is that? I bought the cleanest one I could out of the 3, because the other 2 were a little bit grubby. But it's a 20, so it's, yeah, it's quite thin. It's very thin, but it's just such a beautiful colour. I absolutely love it. Whether I ever make anything out of it, I don't know, because 20 is quite, I mean, you need to use probably about a 1.5 millimeter crochet hook with that. So it's going to be tiny, and it's going to be, you know, hard to do, really fiddly. So I'm going to have to find something that's fairly easy to do. And to go along with that was my last favourite thing. It's an original 1930s crochet book. Now I collect these. So if anybody has any of these, I'd be very interested. But this is a lovely one. It's all kind of crochet netwear, so it's all kind of collars and scarves and everything like this. The one on the back is hilarious because it makes me think of Star Trek. Isn't that great? It's so lovely, but it's got so many lovely patterns in it. I mean, I want to make all of them, but the problem is with this neckwear is again, a lot of it is using very thin crochet thread, very much like the 20s that I just showed you there. And tiny hooks, so they're very fiddly to do. But seriously, I love this lady. She is now my idol. I want her hair. I absolutely adore her hair. And look at that collar. Isn't it amazing? God, it's so fiddly to do. Let me see what it is. So it's, okay, so it's a size 30 crochet cotton. So it's even tinier than that one. And a number 8 hook. Oh God, I can't remember what size that is. I could tell you if I could find my, yeah. No, I'm not going to look at my phone. Actually, no, I am going to look at my phone. No, I'm not, because I'm using my phone to do this. That's really stupid. So I'm going to look on my iPad and. Okay, so I found out what number 8 is after all that. It's a 1.5mm, so tiny. And you can, yeah, that's just gonna be way too fiddly to do. But there's some other really nice ones which probably I might attempt if I really like that one. I think that one's gorgeous. And then you've got some nice scarves, if you can see that. A lovely collar there. I like that one. Yeah. Oh, and it's got, yeah, I've seen this offered to purchase as a PDF on Etsy quite a lot. Those ones, so I now know which book they get that from. But yeah, it's got some really nice, and then at the back it's actually got, so it's showing different crochet books you can purchase, well you could have purchased back in the day. I have that one, so now I want all the rest. So if any of you have any of these, do let me know. But yeah, I get a little bit obsessed like that. I kind of like, if I see something like that, it's like, oh no, I need all of them. Oh God. I've seen PDF ones that you can get off Etsy and things, of 2 or 3 of them. So, and I actually have a PDF of that one there, which I've printed out. So, yeah, but I want to find the originals. So anyway, so that was everything I purchased. I think in total I paid about, for the whole lot, 45 pounds, something like that. So it's quite a lot of stuff for that kind of money. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you come back next time. Bye!